you know, every time he turns around, there's something more horrifying than what he saw before. You know, there's something that was way freakier than the last thing that he saw.
Arrêtez, s'il vous plaît.
Oh no!
The shit.
Yeah.
Oh, what is the young lady's name that you have over there, Kanar? Aisha. Martin, I want to let you know Aisha's dying. Just to let you know real quick. So you know, you might want to talk to her before she falls out in the middle of this show. She came in, I said, how you doing? Like, I ain't never heard nobody respond like this that I've never met before. Girl, you got to do that shit with people you know. I don't know you, because I took that shit serious. I thought you had cancer or something. Oh, let me take this jacket off. Somebody said if you had been smart, you would have, when I asked you what she's dying of, they would have said she's dying of not, fuck it. See, I fucked it up already, man.
I honestly expected you to do that. Yeah. And when you didn't, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, see, that's why I didn't do it, because I didn't want to be.
Because you weren't smart enough to think of it.
Because I'm not predictable, that's why. Because I ain't predictable, that's why. Because you thought I was going to do it, and that's why I sensed it, and that's why I didn't do it, Martin. That's why I didn't say it, Martin. I don't want you to predict all these shirts and caps and backpacks and dtmerch.com, since we on the subject right now. Oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and bring Kennard up. Come on, Kennard. How you doing, man? For some reason, Kennard has been really into this movie, Overlord, asking me if I'm going to see it. Have I seen it? You going to talk about it? So
this was like 2 texts, man. Like,
you said a lot in those 2 texts.
And when are you reviewing it? That was it.
Okay.
Corey's doing his BS where he over-exaggerates. So I'm at.
But it was the sentiment behind those texts. I know the eagerness behind it. I felt it.
So, so y'all didn't go see it together?
No, we didn't go see it together. No, we wouldn't fit in the same car. But what I can tell you about is that we all know that Hitler made zombies. And
yeah, it's a historical fact.
It's a historical fact. Everybody know they hung out with Satan. That was his boy. And I'm so glad that now the truth is coming out and we getting some of these true stories about how the Nazis really were, man. You know, we see it all the time too. You know, it's almost uncomfortable to think that, and I'm being serious. Yeah, you know, because we all know that Nazis experimented on people. You know, he experimented on Jews, made furniture out of them, and everything. It's, you know, it's a sick thing they did, but it's led to some cool ass stories. I mean, they've taken that and blew that whole myth up to where you're getting things that you know, you're getting these sci-fi stories now from that mythology. You know, you're getting things in video games like alternate futures with Nazi robots and experimentations and mutants. You know, you're getting TV shows with alternate reality.
That's right, Man in the High Castle.
Man in the High Castle. Yeah, you know, alternate reality or alternate future TV shows. It's even gone to just insane levels with it. They now have things where they've sent Nazis to the moon, complete with dinosaurs.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Sieg Heil!
I'm done.
Yeah, so you know, that's the thing about, and we love, you know, we love killing Nazis so much. We want to kill them after they're dead. We bring them back so we can just kill them again. As you can see, this can get a little bit ridiculous. That was Call of Duty. Nazis, the darkest shore.
No, they do make the best villains because everybody, except for our president, has the right to hate them.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, you can kill them and nobody feels bad about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's where we're at now with this. You know, with this movie Overlord, is it at that ridiculous level that, you know, it's not even funny anymore? Could it be even offensive in a way? Because what you have here, you have right before D-Day, you got these paratroopers who drop into a small village in France to take out a German radio tower, and they're already nervous, they're already scared. You know, it's already kind of a suicide mission that they're about to go on. So when you know it, they get down there and there's zombies. You know, it just gets much worse.
Bad enough.
Yeah, Nazis and zombies. This is some bullshit.
Nazi zombies, Martin, is what they discover.
I actually heard the reason why that legend got perpetuated is because the Nazis, where the first ones started using cocaine heavily, and they would have tablets they would use, and they kind of sometimes they would get shot, they would be able to get back up because they were high on cocaine.
And
they were big into methamphetamines.
Yeah, methamphetamines as well.
And as we all know, a couple of lines will bring you right back.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're looking at this, and they get down there and they see that the Nazis are trying to create an army of super undead soldiers. And as I said, is this as ridiculous as it sounds? I mean, is it to the point where we've actually kind of become oversaturated with this whole mythology? Let's take a look at the trailer, and we'll be back with our review.
Welcome to France.
I'll start out saying something very positive about this. The lead actor, his name is Jovan Adepo. I like that guy a lot. He was very good in the movie, almost right from the very beginning. Even though he spends half the movie just being scared.
Wouldn't you?
Well, but it's right from the start. My brother's just trembling and sweating and shaking.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he just, and it's like, if you recognize the guy, it's the same guy who was Denzel's son, Corey, in Fences.
It's funny because looking through this trailer, I was like, hey, this kid reminds me of Denzel.
Yeah, it does. And he does. And when you see him acting, he does. But it's so funny because it's almost like a sequel to Fences.
Oh, yeah, because he joins the army.
Because he joins the army.
Oh.
So it's like he joined the army. He's still traumatized over Denzel fucking with him.
Straighten up, goddammit. What law is there say I got to like you?
None.
All right, then. You eat every day?
Yeah.
Nigga, as long as you in my house.
And 1 year later, oh, shit.
The Nazis ain't that bad.
This is taking the goriest part of your most violent war films and taking the goriest part of a horror film and putting those together. So way before the supernatural comes in, this dude has seen some shit.
Oh,
on his way down, mid-air. He's seeing people dying. He's seeing people dying on the plane before they even go down.
Right.
And this brother's got PTSD before he even touches the ground.
Yeah. One thing this movie does really well is kind of blend those two aspects of different movies. And like under this premise, you got this really decent war film at the beginning, and it has really tense moments. And you're dealing with just Nazis, and then at the end or second half, you're dealing with like the zombie horror aspects, and you get a different type of tension.
And that is true. By the time they do bring in like the horror elements, this dude is losing his fucking mind. There's a point in here where he's running and he ain't nothing but eyes. And I ain't trying to be racist or nothing, because he ducks behind some really dark ass corners and he disappears, but them eyes are still there.
Yeah.
Looking like cartoon eyes. And I mean, you can't really, you can't blame him, and you see it because it works. It works because his reaction is appropriate and is very relatable, because what he sees is, by the time they do get to the supernatural part or the sci-fi part of it, it is freakishly horrifying. It's he's in a situation where every time he turns around, there's something more horrifying than what he saw before. There's something that was way freakier than the last thing that he saw.
Arrêtez, s'il vous plaît.
Oh, no.
The shit.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting there, you look like it's that's why this character works, because you're having the same reactions that he is. Your eyes are as big as his eyes when you actually see the things that he sees, which is cool, because this is what you want to follow. You're not going to follow the tough guy that's having this reaction to everything in this tough guy kind of way. I'm going to kick its ass. That's not what he's doing.
It's not
here.
an Evil Dead type situation where you.
If I was to go outside of this character and talk about everybody else in the film, I like this guy a lot. The other characters are just types, and you're talking about the tough guy type. Wyatt Russell, who I like, that's Kurt Russell's son, and I think Goldie Hawn's son.
Yeah.
Wyatt Russell in the movie, he's cool. I like him. He's a good-looking guy, but that's all he is there to do is just be the tough, brooding guy.
Leader.
See, I want to see it just for that because I'm so used to him playing hipsters. It's hard to imagine him as a tough
punk ass
guy.
hipsters
Who is
too.
he in Black Mirror again? That's
Black Mirror, Ingrid Goes West.
Ingrid Goes West. He's
Lodge
always
49.
some hipster, he's always some little punk ass
He's
hipster.
kind of got the face for it.
But here he's a tough guy, complete with the scars on his face. He's the one that's going to lead the troop. Doesn't care about dying. We're here to do our jobs. And you look at it, and when you see him, he's just sitting back in the back on a plane. He don't want to deal with nobody. He's just sulking by himself. And when you see that, it's just kind of like, oh shit, this guy must have some. He must have something deep going on with him.
This guy fucks.
Yeah, I can't wait to see his backstory. And the movie's like, well, too bad because you ain't getting it.
You got to make it up on your own.
Even the characters. What's up with this guy? Who is this guy?
Nothing.
Crickets.
Yeah, you're like what? Because he's so quiet and has this whole this he doesn't fear death. It's almost like okay,
So
is this guy kind of suicidal himself? Is he crazy? And you don't get a story. He's just sitting back there, like no, this is what tough guys do. It's the kind of movie that's moving so fast you don't need it because everybody in this movie is a type. Like if you look at who you have here. It is the types that you see from every war movie. You got the smart-ass Italian from New York. Mm-hmm. You got the Jewish guy. You got the innocent country boy. You got the photographer who's like the journalist who doesn't want to fight. I'm just here to cover the story.
Fight.
You got the drills. You got that shit-talking drill sergeant.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you really do.
Yeah. You met everyone.
Central casting.
Oh, Martin. And they even have the cliche moments from war movies. Because y'all, who's going to die? Because they talk about home too much.
Oh yeah.
In these kind of movies, like who's gonna die. Because listen, in these kind of unless you are the star, you don't talk about your mama, you don't talk about your sister, you don't talk about your girlfriend, your wife, you don't talk about the dog. Don't write a letter. In fact, don't even pick up a pencil.
Yeah.
Don't talk about what you're doing in the next hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole writing home or talking about the girl you got back at home, your ass is dead.
You were gone. And they got one dude. They almost rubbed it in. They let him talk a long time.
Yeah,
man, he didn't write a letter. He wrote a whole book. And it's like, oh shit, you gone, man. Ain't nobody gonna read that shit.
Do you think this movie is almost kind of like a parodying that a little bit? Because I mean, that was so obvious, and there are other parts of this that were very obvious. And the only character that kind of has development and growth and backstory is our main character, who we're following through this whole thing.
And you know what? You make a good point because I think the same thing. The movie opens up with the title screen that looks like the title screen from a 40s or 50s war film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a mad scientist lab. There's a castle. Well, it's a church, but it looks like a castle.
Yeah,
it's
Stone Castle.
Yeah. The only thing that was missing was lightning going in the background. And Dracula in the window.
Any electric coils?
Yes, all that.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, this is and it has, of course, evil Nazis, not just regular Nazis, but evil mad scientist Nazis.
Not the ones that were just following orders.
No. They pull out all the stops to show you how evil these people are.
Yeah, and the thing is, you say that they're almost parodying that, but I think that the strength of this movie is that they weren't making a parody. This takes his story and characters serious enough to where it avoids being a parody, and it can stand on its own.
Well, I would argue, maybe in the same vein that you're saying, that it doesn't take itself too seriously, and that you can have this. It's like a B war film, but that these character types, are beat by beat for this war film, so it can transition into the craziness that transpires at the end.
Well, and what I mean by what I was saying is that it's they're not taking this and trying to, there's a few things to let you know, okay, I'm going to hint that we know what we are and we know what we're doing, but that doesn't mean we got to be goofy. And it never turns good. You look at Grindhouse tried to remake stuff from the past and end up just looking silly. Yeah. This is actually trying to tell a story, and it's trying to actually, even though these characters are types, it's trying to give you characters that you actually care about. And the movie is genuinely creepy too. There's no jump scares here except for maybe a couple, but the movie gets by mostly on creepy moments and gets by on mood.
Well, even at the beginning, like, you're tensed up because of just you know, there's a small group of guys, around 40 or 50 Nazis, and they're just trying to make their way through this town. And it's like, that's tense in and of itself.
Yeah, yeah. What do they call those kind of movies?
Bottle films?
Not really
bottle
bottle, but it's like
Oh.
like a siege movie or something. You know, like
yeah.
you know, like Assault on Precinct 13 or Real Bravo or something like that. Yeah, you know,
you get scared just from the regular humans, you know, and the implications of what happens if they get caught.
yeah, you know, these characters, like they might be types, but the dialogue is written well enough to act where you actually take them seriously.
Okay,
You know, like either the dialogue is written so clever that it's funny, and these characters you become endeared to because they make you laugh, and it sounds, and even though they are talking in a cliche kind of way, they sound genuine. Or the writing is serious enough to where they get some really good dramatic moments in this, especially when our lead guy, after everything he's seen, he starts losing it. And you really feel for him, man, because after we seen what he's seen, he's coming back and he's trying to tell people like, man, look, y'all ain't seen the shit that I seen right now.
How did you get inside the church?
Dead bodies.
Did you get eyes on the tower compound?
She doesn't have a body, and she's still talking, and I saw Roosevelt.
Voice!
Get off that shit! You smoking that shit again, ain't you? Nah, man. There's a lot of moments in here where these characters are having some very good dramatic moments. Either moments of fear, either moments of bravery, just moments where they just after a while, after being with each other, you see that they actually care for each other too.
No, they do a great job in this movie of making these characters, though they're types, feel human. You know, that they would actually, if they were that type, act out that way naturally or whatever. And something you mentioned about the humor in here, and they have really great ways of like inputting humor into the right spot where it's not silly or goofy like you said, but it comes at a time to make you, like I said, feel like these characters are human because they're not just all scared, terrified the whole time.
Yeah, it's nothing. Look, the reason why you see types in the movie and you don't like them is because they're written badly. You know, it doesn't mean that you can't take types and use them over again, familiar types that we've seen, as long as you give them something that it seems like an effort was made, or there's some good writing behind them. It can work. You know, and that's what I was looking at here, and I was like, yeah. In any, some other films, these types would have been annoying because their dialogue would have been bad, would have been stilted, would have followed these plot points that a lazy script would have had to go through.
Feel lazy.
Yeah, but one area that really bucks the trend that's happening right now is this actress Mathilda Olivier, and she's good.
What else has she been in?
I looked her up, and she hasn't been in anything too big. I think it was just one of the biggest things she's been in now. If she has been in something else, I haven't really seen it or read about it.
You know if she's French?
I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure because I know she plays French in here. But one of the things I did like her that made her very good is that she's strong, but not in that trendy way that Hollywood's trying to make women strong today, where they just force them
over the top or anything. She's still emotional and vulnerable, but she's also, like you said, has strength.
She's she's not a message. She's not something that's right.
Damsel in distress either.
But that's the thing. She's still vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that in here she's brave, but it's not forced. She's tough, but it's not. But it's not in this way that feels fake. Like, that's what women are into right now. So let's give the women something to root for. Nah, she was just a person who was doing what she had to do, and just got tired of taking the shit off these Nazis here. It's there's some. Like I said, there's some good heroic moments in here too, man. And I'm talking about moments with the. I'm talking about moments with the war stuff. I'm not even talking about the supernatural stuff. I'm looking at some of the gun battles they have in here. So sometimes it's a better war film than a monster movie. Because one of the reasons why, because you hate these Nazis so much. These Nazis are these Nazis are the worst of the worst, man.
They give you every reason in the book to hate them. Sexually, drugs,
man.
Inhumane. Way they treat the villagers, each other.
There's those Nazis where they just smug, like they kill somebody, and then you hear them doing all that fucking Nazi talk, and then do that laugh. Man, fuck you. And Kennard's right. They're the worst. They're rapists. They enjoy killing the villagers just to kill them. I mean, one Nazi took a kid's baseball and spit on it. and threw it back to him. Yeah, it's just like that's just childish. And that's not necessary.
That's just mean.
And they make zombies. You know, they got to go.
Zombies really wasn't the worst thing.
Yeah, it sounds like that's on lower tier.
Actually, that's kind of the coolest thing that they done. And the action stuff is really great in this too. Again, it goes back to the war stuff at the beginning of the movie, because when you watch that, you see that there's a lot of great camera work that's going on. This is a $30 million budget that they have here. And at times you can tell, and believe me, you can tell that this is on the lower end of a lower budget movie. But they make the most out of what they have here. It's because of the camera work that they have. They do a lot with the camera work and the CG to make you feel like you are a part of the action. When they land down in France and they land close to that village, I mean, they've been getting shot in the air. They get underwater, they're in danger.
Direction.
They get on land, they're still getting shot at from people they can't even see. And the camera puts you right in there with that.
The chaos is real at the beginning. It puts you right in the middle of a war film. It's no Saving Private Ryan on the beach scene or anything, but it gets close to that for this budget.
Yeah, and you know what? And I tell you what I was talking about when I said I disagree with you on something. I ain't trying to. No, don't hurt me. And you know, I'm almost scared to disagree with you.
It depends on what you say.
Just watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, if
tread lightly.
Let me. I'm glad you smiled, because I was like, shit, he's serious. But if I may make a point here, sir, where you said these characters weren't stupid, it got to a point here where it was a B movie to a fault, because it did include characters being exactly what you said they weren't, which is stupid. They have.
I can think of a couple of characters you're talking about.
Well, I like the characters, but all of them do something.
But they have moments, yes.
They kept repeating the same mistake. They all turned their back on the Nazi, knowing that he's going to do something.
Oh.
Only one of them made a real mistake.
One made a big mistake, but all the others were about to get themselves killed because they were always turning their back. And I don't even know how you would fall for that. As much as I say I like the female character in here.
Was he like, oh, who's that there? What? Blam!
Oh, Martin.
Over there!
Martin. Martin, you see this? Because the dude, they had one Nazi pulling the oldest trick in the book. She talking about, where's that person I'm looking for? And he's like, oh, right in there. Oh no, after you. Okay. Oh, Martin, you don't believe me?
Girl.
He's like, this dumb bitch. and that's another thing. I don't know how nobody saw his black ass coming up. You know, that they had these last minute saves where people just...
Where they come up,
they teleport.
Up silent.
Yeah, they teleport. they just, you know, like... You would have, like, the way he went up on him, you would have heard his ass running down the hallway.
Yeah.
You know, and then pop right up. That bugs me in movies today.
See, I think what you're getting at is the moments where they use as plot devices or to move the plot forward, the characters get a little dumb. And they make bad choices.
They get dumber. We're very smart in some parts. They get dumb, and all of them have their moments where they do dumb things.
Yeah, why didn't they disarm him first?
That guy?
Yeah.
She was.
In her argument, it was a lot of stuff going on, and they were in a hurry.
Yeah,
okay. They had to move fast. That I will say. Another thing, the movie really does start to fall apart as it gets near the end. Now, the good thing about it is that it moves so fast, and by the time it does start to fall apart, you are probably near the end, and it doesn't hurt the movie that much.
And they're giving you the money shot of what you came there for, too.
Yeah.
Now, okay, here's
like hold on, this is like your main villain right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones, Pilo Asbak. I think is his name, Pilo Asbak. Asbak. Ass backwards. This dude right here from Game of Thrones that you've seen. He is your main villain.
Great at playing assholes, apparently.
Yeah, well, he plays. He got man. The dude has a face.
Yeah,
for being an asshole. This actor is actually really good. And when he comes in, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of him here in the trailer, because first of all, for a face that he has the face of an asshole, man. but he can do. I did not recognize him. Depending on how you comb his hair or whatever, or what clothes you put on him,
Especially
you
without
might
any facial hair too.
Yeah, it's without the face, without those mutton chops and everything. I did not know that was the same actor until I read about it later. But I will say that he is very good, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What you gonna say, Mark?
And that still right there, he looks like a friend of ours.
Don?
It looks
No,
like a knife.
Adam.
Oh. As I said, the face of an asshole. No.
Oh, Adam's cool.
No, Adam's real cool, man. Somewhere Adam's like, hey.
What did I do?
But no, this guy, he starts out very intimidating, man. You know, because he's the main Nazi going around that pimp ass leather coat. You know, he got that bicycle cap. I mean, that motorcycle helmet on.
Yeah.
That Village People outfit he got on.
Got
He
his
did have really
posse
good
with him.
fashions.
That waits outside while he does his deeds.
Yeah, you know, he's very intimidating. You know, he's that Nazi that you love because you get to hate him so much.
Yeah, the villain's really good in this.
but
He's the Darth Vader.
Yeah, but later on in the movie, he becomes the main villain, and I got to say that he's a better villain in the beginning than what he is at the end. He degresses.
True.
He gets much sillier near the end, and by the end of the movie,
I mean, he does become a zombie, so it's a little less.
kinda, yeah. but it's you know, the villain where he's threatening, a lot of suspense when he enters the room as the Nazi we saw at the beginning. The villain that we see him in at the end, he's just sneering, and you know what?
Yeah, he is like monologuing.
He's monologuing. Yeah, he's monologuing, and this brings me to another trope that I hate in movies that I see all the time. To all the villains out there, all you superpowered, physically strong villains, when you have your victim in your hands,
Throwing him away.
kill them immediately, break their neck or break their back. I hate movies where the villain has to pick up somebody by their neck, monologue for about 2 minutes, and then throw them across the room.
Yeah.
And pick them up and throw them through some glass on the table, turn up furniture. Meanwhile, the person just thinking the whole time, like, how can I kill this motherfucker? You know, and they usually succeed.
Right, they're plotting.
Yeah, they're plotting the whole time.
You know what's even worse is when they have them set up like, okay, I have you in this device.
Yeah.
It's going to take care of you. Now I'm going to go walk away and
There's
go
a
do
little
something
bit of
else
that
while I
too.
leave you here.
But they don't do that in this. Mainly is that he's just throwing somebody across the room. I'm like, why are you doing it? First of all, you're making yourself tired.
You gonna pull something? Too,
Yeah,
like,
you turn up the room.
Yeah, some other Nazis gonna
You're gonna have
clean
to,
all that up.
yeah, you're gonna have to make another trip to IKEA, you know, and then as you said, the whole time the person is plotting, and they do that a lot in this right near the end, and I hate that. You know, that's why I say that you know, the ending is kind of flat. Where before the types that you had, when you had these types in the beginning, they worked because they were written. They were written pretty smartly, and you know, the dialogue was great, and their camaraderie was great. But at the end, everything becomes a type, and it plays out like that. Everything becomes a cliche, and it plays out like that.
Well, something I was afraid of, you can tell me, because watching the trailer for this, I'm like, so much of this looks good, especially the war scenes. I was worried that doing the transition over to the supernatural, the zombie stuff, that it would get silly. And I was like, man, is this going to be another From Dusk Till Dawn?
See,
No,
So it's not that bad.
no, not at all.
one thing I hope is a strength to this movie is that they don't dwell too deep into the why the zombies exist or how this is, happening, and nothing like that. So
Yeah.
I think that gives some illusion to this movie.
And you made another good point in that you were talking about how this movie knew that it was a B movie, and that they were doing certain effects. Some of them look cool. That headless body right there, or the bodiless head.
Body horror.
That certain things like that look great. But there are other things where either they are aiming for, and you said this, Kennard, they're aiming for the look of a like a 80s straight to video horror movie, because a lot of these creatures
that's
look,
too bad.
because they look like latex.
Yeah.
And it's like they blew a lot of money on the war stuff. So when they got down to the creatures, they just like, oh shit, we got some rubber and some tape,
Hit him in the face a couple of times.
Well, nobody really knows what this should look like.
Yeah, exactly. So I give this a high matinee, man. This is like I said, it wears thin near the end, but it moves fast enough to where this was a lot of fun. It's funny talking about death and Nazi experiments and war. talking about how fun it is, but I mean, you throw in zombies,
You kinda-
Makes everything better.
it makes everything better. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, I would give it a low full price. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit, especially since, you know, we're kind of trailing off at the tail end of horror themed movies. And honestly, in this movie, I felt more tension and terror or whatever than even Halloween or The Nun. I think you'll get more of an enjoyable experience out of this than those movies.
No, you know, you make a good point. I don't even know if it's fair to compare it to like Halloween, but I do think you made a good point because I really wasn't scared in Halloween.
Yeah.
Because Halloween is it's a slower.
None. That's not even on the table.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It wasn't
if
none.
you were scared,
No,
if
man.
you were scared, or you went, you know, that kind of horror, and you didn't care for The Nun, you'll enjoy this.
But with this, that's because it's not just horror. There's a lot of tension before you even get to the horror.
I think
And so that's why I said I don't know
adds
if
to
you.
the horror. Like that's, you know, that's part of it. You know, if you're tense, you know, that's easier to scare you. Blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
you're invested emotionally into this. You know,
Yeah.
these characters. Whatever.
Okay. All right then. Let me see here. And I was looking at some other things here. If you, I'm just thinking about these. It's not really part of the review, but I do think it's worth mentioning that if you do like this movie, I told you it's a big genre that's out there of Nazis experimenting with the occult or the supernatural combined with the Nazis. And we're talking about this being a low budget. I mean, you can go lower budget with another movie that's out there called Frankenstein's Army.
Oh, don't be shy. Simple mechanics, engineering. It works.
Not about the same budget.
Yeah, Nazis and dubstep. Now that's horrifying. Also, I thought a lot of people knew about this movie, but they don't. I know it's a cult film from back in the day. It might be worth people coming up to discover this film called Dead Snow. You ever seen that? The one with
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I have.
yeah, the ones with Nazis, zombie Nazis, trying to attack these dumb kids in a cabin out in the middle of the snow. Fuck you looking at? And of course, those on the sillier side of things, but they're fun. I mean, you can find them on video or streaming. So if you go and see Overlord and you like it as much as we did, especially the youth, are giving a full price, and you still got a craving for Nazis and zombies, and go check this out right here.